So I saw something interesting on the internet the other day, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it, but it looks like there's a little bit of smoke to this fire, and I'd be shocked if this is actually true, but it turns out that Hollywood Reporter is saying that Legendary Entertainment, which is a mass media company, has licensed the Duke Nukem franchise film rights from Gearbox, the same video game company responsible for the Borderlands series, and is now planning to make a new movie concerning the Duke Nukem name. And honestly, I think this is something that is a really interesting development if it's true, only because the Duke Nukem series has been dead for like at least a decade. I'd probably go as far as to say for 2 decades, because the Duke Nukem series, like in terms of popularity, it seemingly reached its peak back in the 90s. You look at games like Duke Nukem 3D from 96 and Time to Kill from 98, which came out on the PS1. Those were 2 of the best games in the entire series, and there were a few games from the Game Boy Advance era that some people were quite fond of, but for the most part, Duke Nukem has been irrelevant for the better part of about 15 years. And you look at the Duke Nukem game that came out in 2011, Duke Nukem Forever. It was a game that got horrible reviews. The graphics fell below a lot of people's expectations, especially considering the fact that it was released during the PS3, Xbox 360 era of gaming. It looked like something that belonged on the PS2 or the original Xbox game system. And not to say that the Duke Nukem series is horrible. I mean, initially, back in the day, it was actually pretty good. I even had a Duke Nukem game back in the late 90s. I had the Duke Nukem game for Game Boy Color. It was hard as hell, and I don't think I ever beat it. But you know, Duke Nukem was actually very popular back in the 90s, and as far as a film is concerned, I feel like that's something that should have happened in that decade or sometime in the 2000s, because I feel that in the 2020s decade, no one really cares anymore, and there's a lot of competitiveness in terms of the shooter genre in general, like Call of Duty, whether it be Fortnite, whether it be a survival horror video game. There's a lot of competitiveness within the shooter genre, and I do feel that Duke Nukem, even though it'd be interesting to see a film in this day and age, I'm not exactly sure whether or not it's going to be popular among a lot of people who were fans of the game back in the day, because a lot of people who were fans of Duke Nukem back in the 90s probably don't give a damn anymore because of life and everything else that's going on in the world right now. But it's still a pretty interesting development, and I would like to see where this goes, what the cast looks like, and I guess what video game this film would adapt from. Those are all interesting questions. Hopefully we'll learn more about this alleged Duke Nukem film sometime in the future as the year progresses.